So here we have the EC4A slave clock impulse driver. When you receive the products, they'll come in these little bubble bags. The driver, if you buy the version with the lid, will have the 4 screws to hold the lid on. The driver also comes with this sticky Velcro fixing, which is really sticky, so once you've placed it in the clock it doesn't fall out. And the electronics battery pack also has the same Velcro sticky pad on. So when you take the lid off, tip it forward the way I've just shown so that you don't bend the LEDs out of shape, and then when you put it back on, do the same thing. So the 2 buttons are for pulsing the clock forward and for holding the clock. So for example, in daylight saving time changes, you can press the green button to advance 1 hour, you can press the red button to hold it for 1 hour, and that will set your clock right for the new time. So inside, one of the key features of this particular driver is it has this power saving capacitor that slowly stores energy from the battery and then can release it to the mechanism when the mechanism pulses. That way the drain on the batteries is low and constant rather than being lots of sharp amounts of power out. There's only 3 settings. One is to increase the amount of power that's delivered. The other one is to change from 30 to 60 second pulsing. There is also a custom 1 second pulsing option. And then the third one is to change the pulse length from 60 milliseconds to 124 milliseconds or 240 milliseconds. It gives you a slightly different pulse length, which can either help step a mechanism better and actually sound slightly different, and you might prefer the sound. But obviously the longer pulse you have, the more power it's going to use. Other than that, this electronics just looks after itself. The wire you can see coming out is the wire that goes to the clock, and then 2 connectors, one with the red marking on, is where you would connect your power to power the clock, and that can be pretty much anything from 3 volts up to 24 volts. And that's basically it. So when you first get the driver, you'll need to put 4 AA batteries in this electronics driver pack, so a switched pack of batteries. Connect it onto the 2-pin Molex connector. There's a small switch on the top, switch it on. You'll see the 2 LEDs light up momentarily and then go out again. The impulse driver will then pulse in 30 seconds time or 60 seconds time, depending on how you've set up the little tag. So so to fit the cover, just bend those 2 little wires down a little bit, and then actually just leave that connected. And when you put the lid on, the same thing again. Put it on the LED side at an angle and then tilt it down to shut it. And there we go. So these leads I'll make with quite a long tail on, so that they can either be wrapped around quite big screws like these ones, or they can be slid under the tabs on synchronome type mechanisms. So this is what I call a standard mechanism. In other words, it has a coil which normally takes a fair bit of power, about 250 milliamps, and it pulls the armature in to pull out a little lever, a ratchet, which then steps that ratchet wheel around 1 click, and that 1 click could be 30 seconds like this one is, or it could be 60 seconds, and on some of them could be 1 second, depends. So the coils come in so many different resistances. That's why I've had the EC4A designed to be able to supply different amounts of power, because some of these coils are 4 ohms, 10 ohms, 30 ohms, 60 ohms, all sorts of resistance, all the way up to about 800. And sometimes it's a case of connect the driver up and see what option works best for you and how you like it stepping. So this type of mechanism just wants the pulse to come out in one direction, and it doesn't matter which direction, but just one direction, and that will cause the coil to activate and step your mechanism round. And you can actually test it like I've just shown, just by pressing it in and see how much it steps. And when it's in a clock, you can see if one step does 30 seconds or one step does 60 seconds, and that will let you know how to set the EC4. And that's it. Thanks for watching.